It's so hard for me to sit back here in this studio looking at a guy out here hollering my name when last year I spent more money on spilled liquor in bars from one side of this world to the other than you made. You're talking to the Rolex wearing, diamond ring wearing, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, limousine riding, jet flying, son of a gun, and I'm having a hard time holding these alligators down. Woo!
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Pro Wrestling Extreme Talk, Episode 3. We got a special guest on the show tonight. We got the world beater Chris Coleman, and we will be talking with him in a few moments. I'm going to bring on the other two shitheads. I'm going to bring on JJ. What's up, Jay?
What up, man?
How are you?
I'm good, buddy. How are you?
Good. Ready for this Chris Coleman interview?
I'm into it.
Yeah, it's going to be good, I'm sure. All right, you ready to bring on Reese?
Let's bring him on.
All right. Reese, what's happening?
What's up, man? Thank you.
What's going on, buddy?
Hanging in there, man.
Good. Are you ready for the Chris Coleman interview?
Yeah, sure.
Awesome. We'll bring him on here in a minute. So, all right, guys, let's get to Chris Coleman. Let's bring him on. Chris Coleman, how are you?
Fine, sir. How about you?
Great, thank you. Thanks for being on Pro Wrestling Extreme Talk tonight with us.
I appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. So tonight, before we get into the interview, JJ, you want to do our sponsors?
Absolutely. Habits Beer and Tobacco, 960 Franklin Street. Those guys have treated me well for many, many years. And Red's Texas Barbecue, 3116 Elton Road. Some of the best food in town. And it's homemade. That ain't that fast food horse shit. It's good stuff.
Yeah, as you can tell, all three of us eat there.
Well, we're not shy about eating meals.
All right, Chris, you ready to get into the interview?
Absolutely.
All right. Reese is going to start you off tonight.
All right, Chris. You want to tell a little bit about yourself, to those that aren't familiar with you?
Sure, absolutely. Chris Coleman. I started wrestling back in 2003 with Bubba Brewer. He was running a promotion at the time called Heroes of Wrestling. It was a very short-lived promotion. They only did less than a handful of shows. At that time, I was calling myself the Enforcer, Gabriel Roy Anderson. I debuted there with him. I think we only did 2 shows, matter of fact, before he moved that promotion to Florida, and then some things happened. So fast forward a little bit to, I believe it was late 2003 or early 2004. My memory is a little foggy. I went to the cage match between Bubba Brewer and Kato at KCW. And Troy, Fritz, who I knew, brought me backstage, introduced me to Kato. So then I went to Kato's dojo up in Bald Eagle at the time and tried out. they decided to keep me on and continue my training there. And I debuted for KCW in, I want to say it's September of 2004. Like I said, memory's a little foggy. Been hitting the head a few too many times. But so I wrestled from 2004 until about 2009, 2010, when I retired, stepped away from the ring. I kind of lost a little bit of the passion for it at the time. Fast forwarded, a couple years, got married, got a new job, new career, was in a position to where I could go back to wrestling. And I re-debuted for Imagine Wrestling last September at the Blairsville show, October, at the Blairsville show. And I've been working with Cato at Imagine ever since. So I've been in and out of the business for now, 16, 17 years.
What made you lose your passion for the business?
I think a lot of it was kind of the politics of professional wrestling. When you see a guy who is getting pushed because he's buddies with this guy or buddies with that guy and maybe isn't working as hard as someone else, and you get kind of discouraged at that time. And also, at this level, there's not a lot of money to be made in professional wrestling. Mm-hmm. So I was working a show in, I want to say Charleroi, and I got busted open in a match with the late Ron Richards, Beast. He busted me open and had to go back and get several butterfly stitches put in my forehead. And I'm driving home that night, and I realized what I made that night wouldn't have covered an ER copay if I had health insurance at the time, which I didn't.
Whoa!
So it was like it was a 2-shot weekend. I lost twice as much money as I made.
Wow!
Oh man! And
I had no health insurance. I got a busted open head. They had to shave a part of the hair out to put the butterflies in. Like my girlfriend, now my wife at the time's looking at me like, what is wrong with you? Like that sort of thing. And it just kind of like, I always told myself that if I didn't get excited about getting up and going to a building and being around the boys and get excited about my matches, then it was time to hang it up. And some of those shows, going those distances, while they were great, they were just starting to drag on me. I was working early morning shifts. I started at 4 a.m. I'd work until like 1 or 2 in the afternoon. And then I'd drive to a building and be out until midnight or 1, get home, take a 2-hour nap, and then go to work again. It was just kind of just dragging on me a little bit.
All right, man. So what was do you remember the very first match that you saw? Your very earliest memory.
My earliest memories of wrestling were of like the Junkyard Dog and Ricky Steamboat when he was with WWE and he had the whole outfit and he breathed fire on his way to the ring and that sort of thing. I remember very distinctly, watching Junkyard Dog and watching wrestling, and I grabbed my older cousin. He was 9 years older than me. I grabbed him by the head and I headbutted him. And I was maybe 5 or 6. I don't even remember how old I was. But my mom said, and you both started to cry. So that's kind of like my earliest memories of wrestling.
That's funny.
That is pretty funny. So who got you started in wrestling?
Who got me started? My tag team, my longtime tag team partner, Mr. Tapout, did. I was a longtime fan of APWF. I went to a lot of the shows when they were at the Club Extreme building on just off of Philadelphia Street here in Indiana. And I I started actually working at Walmart on overnights with Mr. Tapout, and kind of started working out with him, and eventually got my foot in the door with Bubba and got tryouts and things like that. So it was between kind of Bubba Brewer and Mr. Tapout that got me into the business.
What's
Cool.
What's Tapout up to now?
He's a busy guy. He works. He's one of the assistant coaches for the Marion Center football and wrestling teams. On top of his regular, insane workout schedule that he likes to keep. So he's a really busy guy.
So what would you say intrigued you the most, or what made you want to get into the wrestling business?
I think it was kind of the larger than life characters, like everybody kind of gravitates to a certain number of characters in the business, at least the most people that you talk to. For me, it was kind of those giants. So guys like Hogan and Warrior and like The Undertaker, just these giant human beings, and that kind of like, I wanted to be big and strong like them. And that's kind of what drove me towards the wrestling business.
Cool.
Oh, excuse me. So, who would you say thus far has been the best worker you've ever been with? The best match you've ever had? The best worker you've ever worked with? I'm sorry.
Best worker I've ever worked with? Hands down, Bill Collier.
I had a feeling you were going to say that.
I was going to put a $100 bill down and say it was going to be Bill Collier.
You know what?
If you polled 50 guys from Pennsylvania, New York, Maryland, I bet 45 of them would say Bill Collier.
All right, so let me ask you this: what is it about Bill that everybody would say that this is essentially a Bill Collier podcast, as it turns out? But what would you say is what makes Bill so special? Because we already know, but what would you say?
I mean, Bill has such a deep understanding of wrestling and the wrestling business and what it is to connect with the fans and know what to give the fans at the right moment. And he's so smooth at going from they need to see this to they need to see this to they need to see this and they need to see this. And those kind of seamless transitions are what really makes Bill special. That, that he can have, you can put 6 different guys in the ring with him, and those 6 guys will have the best match they've had in years with him, whether or not he's worked with them at all. I've had the benefit of, through the early stages of his career and kind of the middle stages of mine, getting to train with Bill a lot. So I knew how smooth he was. I knew how deep his love for the business is, and it's only gotten deeper through the years. His love and understanding of the business is just nearly unparalleled.
So would you say that he has the? Everybody says about Ric Flair could wrestle a broomstick and have a good match. Bill could wrestle a green guy and put a decent match together.
Absolutely, because he would understand, like, okay, this guy's not going to be good at everything. So what is he good at? And let's do that. And whereas someone else might be like, okay, let's do this and do this and do this and do this. And that guy might not even be capable of it. But because you got to try to get your shit in.
Okay.
You're gonna end up making either him or you look bad in the ring rather than playing to your strengths.
All right. Well, shout out. What the hell is that noise?
Oh, that's my dog found a squeak toy.
Okay.
At least it's not my dog this time.
Or my dog.
As you can see, my dog is dead to the world right now.
Yeah, my wife has since rushed to remove the squeak toy from the dog.
No, that's fine. No, there's no problem. Well,
After you called him out.
Well, I just didn't know what the hell it was. Shout out to Big Time Bill Collier on the
Absolutely.
Pro Wrestling Extreme # Big Time podcast.
So other than Imagine, what other promotions or feds have you wrestled for?
I have wrestled for Heroes of Wrestling with Bubba Brewer, APWF, KCW, DCW, PWR in Erie, and that might be it. No, I lie. I wrestled for Power Wrestling in Altoona when they had several shows. I did the KCW like anniversary show or reunion show that they did.
I remember that.
I think that might be the list of federations I've wrestled for.
Very cool. So who would you say is your dream opponent, past or present?
Dream opponent, past or present? Okay. Wow. I mean, because that's the kind of mark I am. My dream opponent would be Undertaker in the Red Devil Big Evil era.
Yes.
That was kind of one of my favorite incarnations of the Undertaker. I've been an Undertaker guy since the beginning, and I'll die an Undertaker guy. But that was kind of my favorite section of his career was Red Devil Big Evil.
That was my favorite also.
I like when he came out on his bike with Limp Bizkit with the theme song and everything.
Yeah.
Well, when he come out with that Kid Rock, with that American Badass, you can't get no better than that.
Right.
And it's a shame that on the network you can't see it no more.
Right. Yeah, they have
because they don't have license or whatever. Yeah.
All right. So, Jay, you're still up.
Yeah, I know. If you would have one regret, what would it be?
One regret in the business or one regret in general?
No, in the business. I'm sorry.
In the business? Wow. Probably waiting to get into the business as long as I did. You know, I got in. I was already in my 20s when I got into the business, rather than kind of starting sooner and kind of being able to get into the business. That would probably be it, or kind of not keeping myself in as good a shape as I should have for the business.
Cool.
Would probably be, if I had to break it down, that would probably be it.
So, since we're on the topic of regrets, why join the neighborhood?
Why join the neighborhood?
Yeah. Why would you want to deal with that pain in the ass, Lance Payne?
Well, it boils down to mathematics, really. So I've had several run-ins with the Rad Boys. If you're watching the Imagine live shows on Wednesday nights at 7, you see I've had several kind of run-ins with the Rad Boys where they like to interrupt my matches. So I'm a big guy. I can take care of myself, but I can't look in every direction at the same time. So I needed someone to watch my back, to take care of me. You know, so I needed to reach out, and kind of, they had mutual enemies, and it benefits us. All of us. I can. It's what I can give them and what they can give to me. So I can make Oscar Maverick a better striker, hands down. I can improve his strike game. I can help Alpha Rick Matthews be a better strongman. They be a better strength athlete. Really teach him how to throw his weight around. Lance Payne, I've been around a long time. I can kind of help him understand when and where to help a guy out to get involved. And I've been a leader of people in and out of the wrestling business, so I can help John Ross kind of explain how to keep them all together. So it's what I can give to them and what they can give to me, and that's mutually beneficial.
Yeah, very, very well said.
Yes, I agree. All right, Chris. So where do you see yourself in 2 years in the business?
Hopefully still in the business. I recently had a milestone birthday. I turned 40 a few weeks ago. So
welcome to the club.
Thank you. So it's, this is a young man's game. It really is. But hopefully I see myself with Imagine Wrestling and potentially some other promotions along the way. Kind of being there and helping bring those new guys to where they need to be. Because there's some really truly talented athletes in that Imagine Dojo, and they're this close to figuring it out and being able to take that next leap. And I hope in 2 years I can have helped them get to that point.
Cool.
Very cool. So would you say you're one of the top, the top guys in the locker room? How am I
like
trying
with
to say
your
this?
with your experience and
yes.
stuff?
A locker room leader.
Yes, thank you.
I would like to think so, but I mean, obviously I don't try to, I'm not trying to kind of
Put a label on it.
Yeah, put a label on it. If a guy has something they want to come pick my brain about, I try to be there for them. And if I see something that, hey, man, tweak this, try that, I want to be there for them, but I don't necessarily, and that locker room, especially, there's so many, really experienced, really talented guys in that locker room that, they don't necessarily need another locker room general, But
it doesn't hurt though either.
No, it certainly doesn't help to have another guy with experience that kind of has been around it.
Okay. So what is with the amount of experience you have and working in all the different promotions and stuff, what is the best piece of advice that you could give to someone that is, wanting to put their foot in the door, try and, start their career out? What is like one piece of advice that you could shed some light on?
So the best piece of advice I could give anyone is, obviously make sure you're in some kind of shape. If you can't walk to the mailbox and back without getting winded, you're going to struggle in the wrestling business. It is a different kind of it's a different kind of cardio.
Actually, that's why Larry has his mailbox attached to his house. That's why.
Oh, okay. But no, wrestling cardio is a completely different animal to anything else. You can't get on a treadmill and simulate running the ropes or picking a guy up and maneuvering him in space, anywhere in the gym. Like, you can be a strong guy, you can be a good cardio guy, but the in-ring cardio is a completely different animal. So obviously have yourself in some kind of shape. Now, I'm maybe not necessarily the guy to give that piece of advice because I'm not in the greatest shape ever, but I feel for the style of wrestling that I have, I'm in the shape I'm in the basic shape. I'm obviously trying to get in the better shape. And the other piece of advice I would give is close your mouth and open your ears.
Nice.
If you receive a piece of advice from someone who is in the business longer than you, and is in a spot that you want to be in, close your mouth and open your ears. And when he tells you that piece of advice, if it's something negative, don't go, well, but I thought this. No, just say, thank you. I'll try harder. I'll work at it. You know, excuses are the kind of thing that doesn't help anybody get better. It's taking that advice and that constructive criticism and becoming better for it, rather than just turning it into something negative. And you know, that's where guys can get themselves in trouble. If someone comes to them with a piece of advice, they're going, well, I thought this, or, well, you know, I was, you know, this or that. No, man, just zip it. Say, thank you. I appreciate the advice. I'll work at it.
Very well
Awesome.
said.
Awesome. So we have a thing on the show. It's called #shithead.
Okay.
Name the biggest shithead that you ever worked in the business, whether it be backstage, in ring. You don't have to drop names, but give us a little story.
The biggest shithead.
So with you thinking about it, that you must have encountered quite a few of them.
I've known a couple.
Yeah,
I've
you're
known
right.
a couple. The biggest shithead that I can recall was a guy. I won't necessarily drop his name on here, but once he was training, and once he got on shows, he decided he knew everything he needed to ever know about the wrestling business, and wouldn't, you know, take constructive criticism, and wouldn't come to practices on time, and wouldn't stay as late as some of the other guys. And, you know, you still had to give him the same amount of time as you did everybody else at training. And it was very frustrating to have to try to bring somebody along that didn't want to put in the effort.
Can I just I'll give you a memory real quick. I refereed one of your matches.
Yeah.
And you were going for the big boot.
Yep.
And you told the guy, wherever you put your hand, that's where the boot's going. Yep. And he didn't put his hand up, and you just kicked his goddamn face off.
Yes, I did.
And I said, oh, and I counted 3 as quick as I could and got that asshole out of the ring.
I have had, when I throw my boot, I throw the big boot. I mean, you guys have 3 of you have all seen me throw my big boot. I throw the big boot like Test, God rest him, used to throw the boot.
Yeah.
Hard and fast.
Yeah.
When I'm coming off the ropes, I'm not Hogan throwing it up there and letting you run into it. I'm trying to take your goddamn
You're
head
coming with it.
Right. So protect yourself however you see fit. I have had several people make no attempt to protect themselves.
Well,
I was in DCW. We were wrestling a match with I can't remember the kid's name right now, but he had kind of the face paint, like the latex face paint where it kind of sticks and creates the mask. And I threw the boot. He made no attempt to turn his head, put his hand up, anything like that. I hit his face, and my boot drug up his cheek and up his face. And we get back to the locker room, and it looks like he had been drugged behind a car. It's just road rash. The shit's peeled back. And I said, why didn't you protect yourself? Well, I didn't want to make your move look bad.
Well,
I'm like, you're going to make a lot of guys' moves look bad when I cave the side of your head in and you can't see from now on.
I remember that match that I refed, and when we got back behind the curtain, I said, "Holy shit, dude!" And you said he didn't put his hand up.
I've had guys like look right at it and I kick them in the face, or I've had one guy turn completely around and I kicked him in the back of the head. Like, there's been a laundry list of bad ways to take that boot.
Yeah.
Wow. All right, Chris. So we got a couple random questions for you. Okay.
Okay. Sure. Shoot.
What is your favorite chicken wing flavor?
My favorite chicken wing flavor: mango habanero.
Oh.
Oh,
Okay.
That's a twist.
I was gonna say that's a different one.
Huh.
So then that pretty much.
That's a hot one.
Yeah.
Okay, now do you think that pineapples belong on a pizza?
I think they belong on a Hawaiian pizza, but that doesn't mean I'm going to eat it.
Yeah.
Pineapple pizza is the best, Chris. Come on.
You're out of your goddamn mind.
Yeah, I mean, it's to each their own, but I don't have to eat it.
I was gonna say, so if we show up in February with a Hawaiian pizza, you're just not going to take it. You'll just give it back to Larry, or
I'm sure someone in the locker room will enjoy it.
All right, Chris. Do you have any hobbies other than wrestling?
Yes, I do. I compete in strongman and powerlifting. I've been pretty avid in those for about the last 10 or 12 years now. I also do some medieval reenacting. So I do armored combat. So
Very cool.
most of my hobbies involve, like physicality and aggression.
hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that at all, man.
Very cool.
So go ahead and plug, as I like to say, plug your shit, your social media. Go ahead and give it a plug.
Well, I'm on. Really, I only have like an Instagram. It's Chris Coleman Strong on Instagram. I don't have a whole lot of content up there. I'm kind of digitally illiterate. I'm
okay.
I'm working on it, but I'm kind of slow. So I'm going to be working in the next few weeks and months to try to kind of broaden my social media presence. But I'm on Instagram with Chris Coleman Strong, and obviously you can see highlights and clips of me on the Imagine Wrestling Instagram and the YouTube channel at Imagine Wrestling. That's where you're going to see more of me than on my Instagram.
Very cool.
All right, Chris. So how about cutting us a short promo about being on tonight's show?
So this is the world beater, Chris Coleman. And I'm on the Pro Wrestling Extreme Talk podcast, the #1 wrestling podcast in Pennsylvania. Why did they want me on here? Because I put the strong back in strong style. That's why. There is no man in the ring that is badder, meaner, and stronger than me. And I'd be willing to prove it.
Very cool. So you're willing to prove it, huh?
Absolutely.
Well, I got the perfect.
Larry would like a match with you.
I got the perfect guy for you, Chris.
Oh, yeah?
Yep. And his name is JJ.
I didn't sign up for that.
Very cool. Well, Chris, we appreciate you coming on tonight's show and hanging out with us for a little bit. And
absolutely. I appreciate the opportunity.
And, maybe a couple months down the line, we'd like to have you on again and maybe hear some stories that you got to say.
Absolutely. Be glad to. It's great to kind of come out and be seen, talk to guys. I've known JJ now. It's got to be 15 years.
Yeah, at least.
It's good to talk to people. In the world that we live in right now, kind of interactions are few and far between of this nature. So I really appreciate the chance to come on and talk with you.
Absolutely.
And we definitely look forward to in the upcoming months what goes on with you in the neighborhood and everything else that goes on.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Chris, I got to talk to you about that. I'm not on board with that, but
you don't have to be.
We'll talk about it.
Okay.
I want to have a conversation about that.
That's fine.
Okay.
How about you two have that conversation in the ring, Jay?
How about you quit trying to get my ass beat? How's that?
Well, I don't think try is the word. I definitely think you get your ass beat.
I'll fold up.
He'll take the finger pick of doom.
No. I'd fold him up like an origami crane.
Yes, that's what we like to hear.
All right. Well, maybe one day we'll make that happen.
Sounds good.
All right, brother.
All right, Chris. Thank you again for being on Pro Wrestling Extreme Talk.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Chris,
you have a great night.
Yep, you too.
Love you, guy.
Love you too.
And there you have it. The world beater, Chris Coleman. Pretty exciting interview with Chris.
Yeah, that
Had
was
a good time.
I forgot to add in while we were talking. When I met Chris down at the Johnstown show, he came over and shook my hand. His hand is massive. Did you ever see his hand? It's like two of mine.
Yep.
It is massive.
Yeah, and he had a
pack of sausages.
He had a very strong grip.
Yeah, he's definitely a strong guy. I mean,
yeah, that's a big boy.
Wow. Yeah,
I wouldn't want to tangle ass with him, certainly.
Well, we're booking it. It's coming. We're booking it.
All right.
You better hope you have a good dental plan.
I already have dentures. It's fine.
All right, guys. Well, that's it for episode 3 of Pro Wrestling Extreme Talk. We'll see you next time. Until then, I'm Striker. That's JJ. That's Reese. And we are out.